Okay, I'm going to be recording this session, and the reason why I'm recording it is so that your other classmates can view this video, which is really an introduction to the unit. So bear with me as I explain. And by the way, if you don't want to be recorded, please let me know. You send me a message, and I'll try to eliminate the video. If you're there and you don't want to be seen in the video, just let me know. Send me an email. Okay. So all right. So we're doing this introduction. Okay. So unit outline is available. All this information, including your assessments and lecture slides, are available on Moodle. This is the basic. I'm supposed to let you know about these things, but I'm assuming because you're third year, you should know this by now. You should check Moodle every day, including your emails. Make sure you check that every day because I contact you by both via Moodle and also by email. I usually use the announcement forum on Moodle, and when I send you that message there, it usually will go as well, give you a copy via your email. I am available for online consultation by Zoom. Just let me know what time you want to meet with me, and you basically just have to go back to the Moodle shell and use the same Zoom link to have a one-on-one consultation with me, assuming you've let me know the date and the time, and I'll be there for you. Okay. Okay. Okay, what you need to know at the start of class time, you should log into Moodle. So the class time is at 3:30. Try to be here right smack on time at 3:30. I usually will start the class a few minutes later. And that Zoom link, of course, is found on Moodle. Just look for that Zoom link, Zoom online session right below the discussion forum. If this is your first time, of course you will, it's not your first time most likely. So you would have downloaded the Zoom app. Did anybody have trouble today accessing Zoom? Because I think there was an update, a Zoom update. No problems? Okay, good. There were some students who could not access Zoom today because there was an update that they needed to download. So just in case that happens again, you might check the application just to make sure that your application is up to date. So every day I'm going to give you instructions at the start of the lecture about what we're going to be doing for the day. And you just basically, sometimes these instructions will mean that we're going to watch a video together on Zoom. Sometimes it will mean I will give a lecture and ask you questions on Zoom, just to keep it a little bit lively. So I would expect everybody to have access to their webcam because it's much easier to be having a discussion when you are actually, you're visible on the camera. Now, as I said, it's better to do this class using your laptop, but in case you don't have access to a laptop, so for example, I've had some students attending class while they're on the train on their way to work. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's better than nothing. I would rather that you continue to listen to the lectures rather than not be around at all. Hopefully you guys are still working and you have some access to some income. And I don't want to sort of discourage you from missing your work, knowing it's important for you to survive. And anyway, there are some videos that I've already put them up actually. So in case you miss a lecture, you can still access those videos. I would still recommend that you attend each and every class. And the reason for that is the videos are very short. They're like sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes even shorter. And that doesn't always cover the entire lecture. And sometimes, if I may ask you a question, it sort of helps you understand the subject if you're listening live during the session. There are also graded online activities every session, and they're only open for that day. So if you miss the online session, that means you're going to be losing marks. But more importantly, the graded online activities are helping you stay engaged. It asks the important questions to you so that I can gauge your understanding, and also for you to also gauge whether you're understanding it correctly or not. These graded online activities are just short, maybe 15 minutes every time, and they're usually based on the previous lecture. So if there is on 2.1, that's going to be our first graded activity, that will be based on the previous lecture. And by the way, that barking sound that you hear is my dog. I think one of these days I'll introduce you to my dog. He's a cutie. But not right now because he's kind of busy. He's barking at all the strangers that walk past the door. And after each session, your lecturer will tell you what materials to study from Moodle to prepare for the next session. So session dates are clearly marked on Moodle. So that's our Zoom link, which I'm sure you have found. Just a very quick rundown of the learning outcomes for this unit. I know this is a very, there's a lot of words in here, and that's what I've done is I've put on in bold only the most important words in each paragraph. Okay, so the first outcome is about understanding the nature of entrepreneurship. Okay, and also the personal characteristics of entrepreneurs. Secondly, I expect you to be able to evaluate a range of tools, procedures, and behaviors used in decision making within startup ventures. Okay, so some techniques, some approaches to assessing ventures. We'll be talking about that. We'll also look at some techniques on how we can be more creative, how we can develop new ideas. We'll also try at the end of that. The final outcome, of course, is to create an entrepreneurial business plan for a startup venture product or service. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is creating a complete business plan, or at least a simulated business plan for a business idea that you might have. So as early as now, I would urge everyone, let me just change my screen here for a moment. There you go. Okay, I would urge everyone to start thinking about a business idea that you could use for this subject. So what do you mean by a business idea? It could be a small business. For example, you might think about opening a small restaurant, or it might be a bigger idea, like for example, a software application that you have an idea for, which can help. It could be students, it can be business people, and also hopefully you can sell this application. It might be a mobile phone app that you could use. So any business idea that you might have, which can be used to be for your assignment. And the idea is we're going to create a business plan so that number one, we can determine whether it's a feasible business. Number two, you're going to pretend to try to sell the idea to potential investors. So at the end of the term, you're going to do a presentation, and this presentation will be to try to convince investors to actually buy into your business. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, let's move on then. So here are the assessments, which I expect you will be able to do by the end of the term. There's the usual week 2 quiz, which is available starting next week, I believe, Sunday next week, or to give you the exact date. Um, exact date, week 2. Week 2 quiz will be open on the 14th of June, and the deadline for submission will be the 21st of June before midnight of Sunday, the 21st. Starting 2.1, we will have graded online quizzes. So this week is what I call week 0. So we still have quite a few more sessions before we start the online quizzes. The graded online quizzes, there are about, let me try to show you the number of quizzes. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 activities, graded activities. 8 of them will, all of these 8 here, the first 8, they are equivalent to 2 marks each, or 2% of your grade. Okay, so a total of 16. And then the last one is 4%. So it is kind of a little bit higher, this workshop activity, for a total of 20%, as seen here, 20% graded online quiz. Now, this graded activity, this workshop, is really very important because this is where you can submit a draft of your assignment, and I will actually give you some suggestions on how to improve your assignment. So this is the one session that you don't want to miss, because if you miss it, you won't get the chance to do a draft of your assignment. Okay, so we do have a midterm, and the midterm is an online test. This will be held in week 4, session 4.2. To be exact, that will be held on the 30th of June at 3:30 p.m. as usual. Now, the midterm test will be about your assignment. So you have to begin preparation for your assignment now, because the questions I'm going to ask you will be about your preparation. So a typical question might be, can you describe the business idea that you have? Can you tell me more or less why you think it will be successful? What you think will be its competitive advantage versus your competitors? So these are the type of questions that I will be asking in the midterm. So if you haven't started preparation, obviously you will fail the midterm. Okay, so you have to make sure starting from now, you have already a business idea. Okay. Towards at the end of the term, that business idea will be presented via an oral presentation, as earlier discussed. And then at the end of week 7, that's when you submit the actual business plan. And the reason why I have a presentation beforehand is so that I can give you some suggestions on how to improve your business plan. Okay, and you can use these suggestions to improve your written report. Okay, so some tips about the online learning environment. You can't do this alone. I'm here to sort of help you. So note that my role is to help you learn. My role is to provide you with the content, but your classmates will also help you. So as early as now, it would be good for you guys to start forming study groups. Your assignment, the requirement is only 2 people. So Have an try to form groups of 2 only. Cannot be 3. It has to be only 2. Okay.
Yes.
Um, and if you form it early, then you have the opportunity to be talking about your business ideas. So basically, you don't need 2 business ideas. You only need 1 business idea among the group members. Okay. That's why I put that down here as peers, because just to let you know that, again, you will be learning from your classmates as well. As earlier mentioned, you need to have access to technology. You need to have access to a laptop with a webcam, or a desktop with a webcam. Now, during the lectures, you don't necessarily need to use a laptop, but during the presentation, you would need a laptop. During the midterm, you need a desktop or a laptop, a full computer, because you need a webcam and you need to be typing out your answers as well. And during your presentation, it's going to be a live presentation conducted via Zoom. So it would be good to have a proper computer, rather than to be holding up your phone while you're presenting. Okay. Other tips that I have: time management is very important, especially in an online environment. You lose track of time when you're always indoors. So try your best to keep checking your schedule, keep checking your calendar, and also you need to be prepared before the lecture. Make sure that you have studied the previous lecture, because, as I said, every lecture we have a quiz starting week 2, and that quiz will be about the previous lecture, previous session. So if you are able to review, you'll be more prepared for the quiz. Self-motivation is important. A lot of you might feel disengaged with this kind of an environment. My tip for all of you is to try to make sure you have, the reason why you're trying to complete this unit is because you want to complete your degree. And why do you want to complete the degree? It's because of your career. So have that in mind. Have what you're trying to do is improve your career, improve your lives, basically. And if you have that in mind, it'll hopefully drive you to perform better in this class, okay? And of course, attend class. Look, we all need basic technical skills, but if you're online and doing this on Zoom, like most of your 3rd year, so I don't really expect any problems. We don't really need very elaborate technical skills for this unit. But just in case you're struggling with Zoom, or you're struggling with Moodle, do let me know, and I'll try to see if I can help you. The other good important tip is to have a good study environment. Make sure you've got try to make sure you have access to a private room where people can't bother you, like my dog. Hopefully my dog doesn't bother you. And that's difficult. I understand some students share accommodations with other students, and it'll be difficult for you to sort of have a private space, and I understand that. So if you want to, for example, remove your video during the lectures, or perhaps mute yourself, it's perfectly okay. But I will suggest that for the midterm and for the oral presentations, you need to have access to a private room and a private laptop. And my suggestion is, if you don't have those facilities at home, you can go to CIC College in Lonsdale. You can go there, take the test there. The computers are free usually. There aren't that many people, so you don't have to be too worried about COVID-19. As long as you practice good hygiene, or perhaps wear a mask if you want to, then there should be no problem for you to attend the class from there and take the assessments from there. Okay, that is it for my introduction. See that? And let you know that I do put in a lot of announcements in this forum here, discussion forum.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I just sent you a few hours ago a welcome message to the unit, and you can read that on Moodle. But of course, you should be given a copy of this as well in your emails. Okay. So from time to time, I'll be putting up reminders for you. For example, for your week 2 quiz, I also remind you to try to form groups as early as you can. So again, this is where you will find all those important reminders. Just going over this. So a copy of this this video I'll actually replace this with this recording. So in case you need to view that again, you can. What else? All the assessments are found here. Your week 2 quiz, preparation for midterm. Okay, so Sonali is back. There you go. Welcome back, Sonali. I know you probably got kicked out for some reason. Maybe your internet was very poor. I was just going over very quickly the Moodle page to let everybody know that the assessments are found in the assessment folder here. That's fine, Sonali. I understand. Preparation for midterm. These are the documents that you can look at just to let you know how the midterm will go. The business plan oral presentation. You need to do your presentation slides and upload them here. And then your final business plan should be uploaded here as well. The in-class activities are found here. These are the 2 marks each until the last workshop activity, which is 4 marks in total. Total of 20 marks for this entire series of in-class activities.